What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here. So today I did my 10 favorite multicam and my single cam comedies. So now it's the dramas turn. So I decided to do my top 10 favorite TV dramas of all time. Now, there's loads of I'm more into TV comedies and TV dramas, but there's some really great TV dramas I have enjoyed over the years and all that. Whether it's old dramas or modern dramas or whatever. So, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite TV dramas. Alright, coming in at number 10, I'm going with Lost. I mean, Lost, it really broke groundbreaking with TV and all. I mean, it's where these 48 passengers end up ends up surviving a air crash, and they are end up being stranded on a scary island, and there's trauma of nightmarish that are still in their minds and all, and the passengers have to put up with differences, predators and all that. So they gotta deal with creatures that's on the island as well. And Lost was a really great show. I mean, I still don't really care much for the finale and all, but Lost was still really great. I mean, great cast too. You had Matthew Fox, Ant-Man girl, Evangeline Lilly. You had Josh Holloway, Ian Somerhalder, George Garcia. You had Maggie Grace, Michelle Rodriguez, Daniel Day Kim, Rodrigo Santoro, Terry O'Quinn, who I still think should play Lex Luthor. Like with the bald head and all, he'll be a perfect Lex Luthor. But anyway, yeah, Lost was a very interesting showing. It all takes place on an island, and there are scenes and you also find out about the characters and all, which I always quite enjoy with shows when they introduce us who these characters are and stuff. And Lost was really cool. I mean, it was there are despite it being an ABC show, there was some really interesting dark material that was on this. And I thought all the cast was pretty good together. I mean, Lost was a really great one. And it, of course, ended in, I think, 2009 or 2010 it ended. I can't remember the actual year. But Lost was a really interesting one. And there's that new show, The Island, which is supposed to be like a rip-off of it. I saw a couple of episodes of it, of The Island. Had to back out from it. It's actually pretty terrible. But Lost, on the other hand, it's a great one. Alright, coming in at number 9 is going to ER. Now, obviously, when we think of TV medical shows now, obviously it goes to Grey's Anatomy, which I admit I'm not really into Grey's Anatomy at all. I tried watching Grey's Anatomy, I couldn't really get into the show. It's not really for me and all. But probably my favorite medical show on TV right now is The Good Doctor with Freddie Harmon. I love that show. And I New Amsterdam's pretty good too. But the best mega show of all time is obviously ER. Now, I think ER is the best mega show there is. You had people like George Clooney as Dr. Doug Ross. You had Anthony Edwards as the lead Dr. Mark Green. You had people like Sherry Springfield, Noah Wally, John Stamos was on this, Julianne Margulies, Ming-Na Wen. You had Gloria Rubin was in this. You had some really interesting cast members appear on the show. I mean, you even had Angela Bassett on this, Mackay Pfeiffer, Linda Carlin. I mean, you had some really cool cast members who appear on the show. And ER, you had some really interesting characters. I mean, it's pretty much a mega drama that's actually created by Jurassic Park creator Michael Crichton, which I always keep forgetting the Jurassic Park creator created the show. I always keep forgetting about that. But the show, pretty much chronicles the life and death in a Chicago hospital emergency room, and each episode tells the story of like another day in the ER, from like exciting to mundane and all that. And there's also there's joyous to the heartrending. There's also fast pacing here. There's like emotional stuff. Uh, this show gets pretty emotional at times. I mean, ER was a really interesting show, and we have seen other mega shows since ER, like I said, Grey's Anatomy's kind of pretty popular. Good Doctor is such a great show. Cannot wait for season 3. Of course, New Amsterdam. That one with Emily Van Camp, The Resident. That's pretty much a hit. I mean, we had some interesting mega shows since ER, but I think ER is the best out of all of them. It has some really great cast members, great performances by the cast. I mean, if you guys never seen ER, they show reruns once in a while. It's a really good show. And it was pretty cool seeing George Clooney on a TV show like this. So, alright, coming in at number 8 is probably one of the best teen shows there is. And that's obviously going to Dawson's Creek. I mean, hey, you remember that song, that classic, iconic, probably one of the best theme songs there is. And Dawson's Creek, I mean, this show also broke grounds with the teen TV show dramas. I mean, you had James Van Der Beek as Dawson. You had Katie Holmes as Joey Potter. You had Michelle Williams, Joshua Jackson. And it's pretty much like where these 14 teenagers are struggling with everyday lives and all. And, you got, of course, Dawson and Joey who's trying to, connect and have, like, a romance going on between the two. Yeah, Dawson's Creek, come on. Like I said, one of the greatest theme songs there is. I could list that theme song over. It's a really classic one. And, I mean, the cast are great. It has some really interesting storylines in each episode. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a really good one. Like, if you guys never really have a chance to see Dawson's Creek, they also show lots of reruns of this as well. Dawson's Creek was really great. Probably one of the best teen dramas there is, to be honest, yeah. Anyway, coming in at number 7 is obviously Game of Thrones. Now, Game of Thrones, of course, just ended its season 8 run on HBO. Game of Thrones is based on the story of George R.R. Martin. You had some really, probably one of the best casts I've seen on a TV show. You had Emilia Clarke here. You had Peter Dinklage, Maisie Williams. You had Sophie Turner, Nicola Casawado. I mean, this show also won loads of Emmys. I'm pretty sure tonight, Game of Thrones is probably going to win its final Emmy Award. And, I know there's lots of talks about the last season of Game of Thrones. But I don't know. I thought the last season was okay, I just still think that they rushed it pretty hard. And, you just don't rush a show like Game of Thrones. But it's still a pretty decent show. I mean, I was a little late to the party of it because Game of Thrones really didn't seem right with me, and so I decided to check out a couple of episodes, and I think Game of Thrones is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not like the world's biggest Game of Thrones nut, to be honest with you, but I still think the show's pretty decent. I mean, it had lots of violence, it had lots of filthy stuff in it, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, Game of Thrones is a really cool show, so. Now, lots of people probably add this as their number 1 favorite, or number 2 or a little bit. But to be honest, my top 6 I kind of slightly think are better shows, to be honest with you. But that doesn't take away how good Game of Thrones is, so. Alright, coming in at number 6 is pretty much one of the most modern shows on this list. And that is Netflix's Stranger Things. I really quite love Stranger Things. You know, I I was really surprised of how great the show was. Like, I also kind of passed up on it because the show didn't really look all that interesting. But then, like, the show premiered in July. I didn't really in July 26th. Anyway, yeah, Stranger Things first premiered in July 2016. I didn't really start watching until like August 2016, and then I quite ended up enjoying it. I mean, this and Goldbergs are seriously two shows that takes place in the 80s that literally makes me wish I was in the 80s. I mean, I really quite like the 80s nostalgia factor. I like the effects that's used in this. Great characters. I mean, you got Millie Bobby Brown as 11. Of course, Winona Ryder is great in this as Joyce Byer. Of course, David Harbour is great. Gator Mazzazo is seen still as Dustin. Uh, of course, Finn Wolfhard as Mike is great. Lucas is great. You know, uh, those are the other casts are really cool. I mean, you had Sean Astin here. I mean, Stranger Things, I think it's one of my favorite Netflix shows. So down the line, I'm going to do my 10 favorite Netflix series. I'm probably going to do that somewhere down the line. But Stranger Things is definitely going to be in our list. It's such a great show. And yeah, I mean, season 3, of course, I thought it was, like, seriously, the seasons have been getting better and better. Like, I thought season 2 was better than season 1, and I thought season 3 was better than the first 2 seasons. So, yeah, I just love this show, and cannot wait to see a 4th season, because it's that great of a show. Alright. Now, coming in at number 5, it's probably one of the most oldest shows on this list, and that is, of course, Charlie's Angels. I mean, obviously the show was before my time and all, but I actually seen Charlie's Angels on TV a couple of times, and I'm not gonna lie, I really got kicked out of the original Charlie's Angels. Now, granted, when you think of Charlie's Angels now, you think of Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, and Cameron Diaz. And of course, we got the movie coming out with Kristen Stewart, which I don't care what anyone says. I'm kind of looking forward for that Charlie's Angels. But of course, the original is just iconic. I mean, you've got probably three of the most gorgeous women of that era. I mean, you had Kate Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, and Jacqueline Smith. I mean, Farrah Fawcett was pretty much a sex symbol of that era. And of course, you had John Forsythe as the never-seen boss, Charlie. You had the character Bosley in this. The original Charlie's Angels is a TV classic. I mean, it was the if it wasn't for Charlie's Angels, we probably wouldn't have more loads of female-led shows that we do now. Charlie's Angels really broke the ground for a female-led action series. I mean, literally, if it wasn't even for Charlie's Angels, we wouldn't have stuff we wouldn't have strong female on TV today, females from Game of Thrones or Supergirl or Jessica Jones and all. I mean, Charlie's Angels really broke the ground, and it's classic. I mean, if you guys never seen the original, they show it on MeTV once in a while. It's a classic right there. All right, coming in at number 4 is HBO's The Wire. I mean, who didn't love The Wire? It, of course, was a show that takes place in Baltimore, and it centers around the city's inner city drug scene, and you got and of course starts as this mid-level. It starts out with about this drug dealer named D'Angelo Barksdale, who ends up who pretty much beats a murder rap and all. And so like, of course, you got Detective James McNulty as who has like been assigned to lead a joint homicide in Narc 616. I mean, this was some really interesting shit. Like, you had Wendell Pierce who plays Detective Buck Molan. You had Dominic West here, who of course plays the Detective Jimmy McNulty. You had Lance Reddick here. You had Micah K. Williams as Omar. You had Edith Elba's on this. I think Michael B. Jordan was on the wire too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like way before he did like Black Panther, Creed, and all. Michael B. Jordan was on the wire, and it's of course from the same creator of that new show, The Deuce, which I dig The Deuce, by the way. Yeah, The Wire is a really interesting show with great characters, interesting storylines throughout. I mean, this was one of HBO's finest works. I mean, yeah, and this of course was like before HBO became like pretty much around when HBO became even more popular with loads of interesting shows, and The Wire is definitely one of them. Like, if you guys never seen The Wire, it's still on HBO. Once in a while, give The Wire a shot. It's a really good one. Alright, now coming in at number 3 is going to 21 Jump Street. Now, obviously, now when you think of 21 Jump Street, you mainly think of the comedy films with Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. But lots of people probably forget that there was actually a TV show of 21 Jump Street. And of course, it was a show that like focuses on a group of police officers, and these officers are all like young and like very useful appearances, and pretty much it allows them like pass as teenagers. Like the characters are supposed to be like in their 20s, but they kind of look very young, like they could literally be teenagers. So kind of like the movie and all, they pretty much pretend to be teenagers to like pretty much uncover work like drug works in high school. It's similar to the movies, obviously. And you had Johnny Depp who played like the lead role in this, and you had Holly Robinson Pete as the sergeant here. You had Pierre DeLuz as the officer. Doug Penart. You had people like you had Richard Grieco as pretty much Tom's partner here. You even had some interesting guest appearances. You had people like Brad Pitt made an appearance. Thomas Hayden Church. Who else? Oh yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar appeared on this. You even had Shannon Doherty, John Waters, Brad Pitt. I mean, Josh Brolin. Some interesting characters, like actors, had appeared on the show, and of course, it deals with it. Each episode will deal with them searching for like some sort of drug deal in the high school, and it also deals with like high school issues, and it was also pretty funny to see Johnny Depp reprising his role as his character in the movie. By the way, I always found that to be pretty funny. But yeah, the original 21 Jump Street, it's a really great show, and the movie's obviously good shit, but you can't really go wrong with the TV version. All right, coming in at number 3 is arguably one of my favorite show on TV right now. Now, this is more of a dramedy than just a straight up drama. Like at the Emmy Awards, you always consider like it always is a consideration for best drama for best comedy. I meant to say. So number 2 is going to Shameless. I love Shameless. You got William H Macy as the alcoholic dad, Frank Gallagher, who does some really dumb, very stupid stuff. I mean, he's not really that great of a father. kind of abused his kids a couple of times. Like he even one time punched Ian once. And he actually faked that his own son Carl had cancer. And yeah, he's not really the best. He's such an alcoholic. He's not really the best dad in the world. But William H Macy he just nails it as Frank every time. Like I just love William H Macy as that role. He just plays that role just perfectly. He gives such a great performance as Frank Gallagher, and of course you had a few other people on the show like you had Amy Rossum as Fiona Gallagher. You had Justin Chatwin as really Steve, Jamie, whatever you want to call him. You had Ethan Koski as Carl. Hampton as of course as the neighbor V. You had Steve Howie as Kevin Boy. You had Emma Kenny as Debbie Gallagher. Jeremy Allen White does great as Lip. You had of course you got Cameron Monaghan as Ian Gallagher. You have people like Noah Fisher as Mickey, Emma Greenwell as Mandy. The one who plays Monica is really great. I think the actress name is Chloe Webb. I mean, this has some. Not to mention, you also had Christian Isaiah as Liam, but they changed Liam a couple times. But yeah, Shameless. I think it's the best show on TV in my opinion. But maybe down the line, I'll probably do my 10 favorite TV shows that's on TV right now. And Shameless is definitely it. I mean, Shameless is coming into its 10th season. Lots of characters are so relatable. You love the storylines for them. I mean, of course, the Mickey and Ian storyline is always great to watch. Zach McGowan as Jody I like Zach McGowan as Joey. Kind of wish they bring him back, but of course there have been actors who left and reappear. I mean, I'll still love to see Joe Cusack return as Sheila. I mean, I'm still it would be cool seeing Justin Chatwin return, but they go. TV actors going, come and go, But yeah. Now, of course, if you guys don't know, Shameless is a U.S. remake of a UK series, which I actually saw the UK series literally after I saw the first season of Shameless, and I'm not gonna lie, I really got a kick out of the UK version. And the US Shameless is such a great one. Like, if you guys don't ever see Shameless by now, I just quite love the show. I mean, it's, like I said, it's the best show on TV in my opinion. Great characters, great storylines, great episodes. I mean, cannot wait till season 10. Sadly, I'm having a weird feeling that season 10 might be a last, but hey, if it is last, they had a really good run. So, I'm hoping we get more seasons, because I think Shameless is just awesome. So, fingers crossed we get more seasons after season 10, but it's going to be interesting to see how Shameless is going to handle Amy Rossum's departure, and of course William H Macy's a little bit in hot water because of the college admission scandal stuff. But hopefully Shameless will still be great, because it's such a great show and it's the best show. So cannot wait for season 10. All right, now what is the best TV drama of all time? It's not only the best TV drama. Come on, it's literally one of the best HBO shows there is. Number one is arguably The Sopranos. I mean, I just did actually this week I was talking about The Sopranos because I was doing my 10 favorite James Gandolfini projects, and obviously Sopranos was number one. I mean, The Sopranos is, it's funny. Tony Soprano is a character that he's supposed to hate, really. Like, he's kind of a despicable character, but you can't help but really fall for these characters, And I'm not gonna lie, I really like these characters a lot. They had some really great characters here. Like you got Edie Falco who plays his wife here. You had Jamie Lynn Singer who plays his daughter. The one who plays I can't remember the actual actor's name, but the one who plays Tony's son on Sopranos is great. You also had Michael Imperioli. You got Lorraine Bracco from Goodfellas fame, so she's no stranger to the mafia genre. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, you even had Steve Buscemi appeared on this. Steve Sharperio. I think that's Sharperio. That's the name. All right. Yeah. I mean, some really great cast members are in this. I mean, Shameless. The Sopranos. Before Game of Thrones became a hit, before The Wire came a hit, we had The Sopranos. I mean, The Sopranos really made HBO what it is today. Like if it wasn't for Sopranos, we probably wouldn't HBO wouldn't be as popular as it was today. Game of Thrones probably wouldn't be a thing. Westworld probably wouldn't be a thing. The Sopranos really broke ground with HBO, and gotta love them for it. It's HBO's it was one of HBO's best shows, one of the best mafia shows. I mean, I don't think there could be another mafia show quite like The Sopranos. And of course, every time it ends, it always ends in black. I mean, I never know why The Sopranos always do that, but whatever. And I admit the finale was a little weird too, but still. And James Gandolfini, come on, him as Tony Soprano's one of the most iconic TV characters there is. And now, if you guys don't know, we have a prequel movie coming out, but I don't know if it'll be as good as the show, but we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my 10 favorite TV dramas of all time. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Lost. 9, ER. 8, Dawson's Creek. 7, Game of Thrones. 6, Stranger Things. 5, Charlie's Angels. 4, The Wire. 3, 21 Jump Street. 2, Shameless. 1, The Sopranos. Now, there's loads of other ones I probably could have added. Let's see. I still never seen Peaky Blinders. People tell me I should see that, but it's never really touched me. Never seen The Americans. That just didn't really seem like a show that. Obviously, The Walking Dead. People probably add Homeland, Breaking Bad. I mean, I've seen Breaking Bad here and there. It's never really a show that Breaking Bad was a cool show and all, but I never really loved that as most people do. But that doesn't tell you how great Bryan Cranston is, though. Let's see, Killing Eve, obviously. Let's see. There's Orange is the New Black, which is a great one. True Detective, Boardwalk Empire, Mindhunter, 24, The Shield. The male version of Orange is the New Black called Oz. That's why I always call Oz. A male version of Orange is the New Black. Of course, Sherlock, Criminal Minds, Law and Order is a good one. Riverdale, 13 Reasons Why. I could go to a whole list of great TV dramas. I mean, obviously, I probably could have just done top 20 instead of top 10. But I decided to just stick with top 10. But let me just leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite TV dramas of all time? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movies signing off.